Hello, Cook Rangers. This is Mr. Floyd. I have our science lesson for this week, and we've been studying natural disasters. So we've done fires and floods and hurricanes and tornadoes, and this week we're doing earthquakes. So you'll have in your packet, you'll have the story printed out. We'll read through that in just a minute. But first, I want you to find this page in your story. This is our vocabulary that we're going to need to know all these words to read our story. So I'm going to go through your vocabulary first. All right, you can follow along with me and listen as I read the words. Know, come, feel, shake, fall, break, move, drop, cover, hold, protect, sleep, stay, hurt, under, away, quick, big, small, no one, earthquake, people, ground, window, floor, table, door, head, bed, earth, house, bridge, road, scientist. All right, that's the vocabulary that we're going to be using as we read our story about earthquakes. So let me get my story ready, and we'll come back and we'll read it together first. All right, we're ready to read our story. Just like last week, our science lesson starts with a poem, and then there's some facts about earthquakes that we'll read after the poem. So chapter 6, earthquakes. I'm going to read through the whole story from the beginning to end, and you can listen, and then when we're done, you can read the story on your own. No one ever knows when an earthquake will come, but people in the West can expect to feel some. When an earthquake hits, the ground begins to shake. Things may fall down, and windows may break. If you feel the ground move, drop down to the floor. Take cover under a table. Stay away from the door. Hold on tight and protect your head. If you happen to be sleeping, stay in bed. The shaking is quick, but it can do a lot of harm. It can twist up the earth and set off alarms. There's always a chance of a few more shakes, but no one knows when there'll be another quake. And that was a poem by Sarah Moore about earthquakes. Now let's read some facts about earthquakes. Earthquakes happen when underground plates of the earth rub together, causing an area to shake. The shaking of the main quake usually lasts less than 1 minute. A smaller earthquake that happens after the main quake is called an aftershock. Some earthquakes are stronger than others. Earthquakes can cause a lot of damage to houses and buildings. They can also break bridges and roads. There's a question at the bottom of that page. It asks, how do earthquakes affect people and the environment? Next page. People used to think that the safest place to stand during an earthquake was in a doorway. This isn't true. The safest place is under a table or another strong piece of furniture. This will protect you from falling objects. Most earthquakes happen near the west coast of the United States, in places like California and Nevada. But the Midwest and East Coast can experience earthquakes too. And here's the question at the bottom. Do you live in an area that could have an earthquake? Next page. An earthquake is measured using the Richter scale. A number is given to the main quake. The scale is from 2 to 10. An earthquake above a 6 is a strong earthquake. Earthquakes cannot be predicted, but scientists are working on ways to predict them. Scientists can measure the strength of an earthquake. They use a tool called a seismograph. And there's a question at the bottom on that page. Why would being able to predict an earthquake be helpful? All right, those are some facts about earthquakes. We'll come back and we'll do some questions about our science reading in just a minute. Okay, we've read our story now about earthquakes. It's our science lesson for the week. And let's go through our questions. I'm going to read the questions and answer choices. I'm going to go through all of them. And then you can take your time and go back through your story on your own and pick the correct answer. Question number 1. What is this chapter about? Tornadoes, earthquakes, or floods? Question number 2. What do we feel during an earthquake? Do we feel rain? Do we feel fire? Or do we feel shaking? Question number 3. Where is a safe place to be during an earthquake? Under a table, in a window, by a door. Question number 4. What place has lots of earthquakes? The East Coast, the Midwest, or the West Coast? Question number 5 says, what is important to know about this chapter? What's the main idea? It's fun to feel the ground shake. People like to stay in bed during earthquakes. We do not know when an earthquake will happen. All right, questions 6 through 10. These always can have more than one correct answer. So you're going to mark all the answers that are correct here. Question number 6 asks, what can an earthquake break? Windows, bridges, roads. Question number 7. What number on the Richter scale means a mild earthquake? A 20, a 2, or an 8? Number 8. What number on the Richter scale means a strong earthquake? 1, 3, 9. Question number 9. Where is a safe place to be during an earthquake? Under a table, by a window, in a doorway. And question number 10. What is an aftershock? An earthquake warning, a small quake after a big quake, a very large and powerful quake. All right. Go ahead and take your time, go back through the story, find the correct answers, and mark them on your questions. And I hope you enjoyed this as we continue learning about natural disasters and earthquakes this week.